I am with Saidina Abubacarr Jarju. In this second part of the interview, we're going to look at his political journey. What inspires him to be in politics? And finally, what is his perspective of the system? Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Sirif.
The way you're talking is like, you fired up, it seems to me. But tell us why you have to. It's like, you have to be in politics.
Sirif, if people are angry in this country, they're supposed to be angry. One thing that we all need to understand that corruption is a term. When you talk about, for example, Gambia Post Authority, GRA, the Central Bank of the Gambia, when you say the GRA is corrupt, GRA is just the name of an institution. It is the human beings that are serving in the institution that are breeding that corruption. And these are the very people that are living in our homes. So the system is such that it is meant to either make you or break you. And we need to understand that the system has a group of people that are controlling the narrative of our upbringing, of our country, being in the elite, you might call, or a chunk of people that are in power, or somebody somewhere that is controlling the narrative of your country. I would have an example from the protocols of the elders of Zion. If you read that, you will understand how the concept of Zionism works, how the Zionists actually control, the world. They control our politics, they control sports, they control the media, they control the narrative. Like, for example, this recently concluded elections in Uganda. The NUP platform will tell us that, will give us a separate set of numbers. But on the other hand, the M7 movement will give us another set of numbers. But Museveni is the same person that came and told us that he cannot organize elections and lose. Now the system is designed in such a way that Museveni will continue to live in power until he dies. And then someone of his choosing will step up. And the same cycle will keep repeating itself. Every country has that. And in our country, we'll talk about how this system is destroying our future and why we really need to get up, boots on the ground, and fight with our hearts out to make sure that we sustain what rightfully belongs to us. Otherwise, we'll crumble trouble. Now, you ask a question of what really inspired me to join politics. I've made mention of so many challenges that I've faced in life. Not personal challenges, but challenges that could have been avoided. Now, let's say this is a child that grew up from humble beginnings, struggled throughout his life. He has to pay school by his own. He has to get a job to feed his family. But someone somewhere is telling him, no, you're not good enough. You have to gain university education. The same child struggled, went to the university, struggled to pay his tuition, graduated from school, there is no job. The government is telling you they don't have enough to build factories for the young folks to work. The government is telling us that Gambian youths are lazy. The government is telling us actually they're doing us a favor.
When it's not a favor.
When it's not a favor. We are doing them a favor. Now I have to go through the back way to Saidina pasture somewhere because my mother and my father are somewhere out there struggling to survive. When I have to struggle to put food on the table. Now I took a boat. Doctors argue that the prices that some of these youths are paying to enter the boat is, if you can use that. Are you serious right now?
If you can what?
If you can use that money, invest into something, it will gain dividend.
Okay. So
basically that was what they're trying to do. They're putting the problem on the youth.
On the youth.
That they are forcing their way out, but there is, in fact, they have
no reason to do that.
Which is quite disappointing, coming from people in power.
It's like they are saying that they have done enough.
Yes, for them they're doing us a favor. That we need to, crawl. We need to kind of appreciate what they're doing. When we gave them a job and they were supposed to deliver. Like tell you something, like you're doing your own job. You employed me to do a job. Who is doing who a favor? I'm supposed to serve. Not the other way around. Now, this frustrated child decided to use the back way. And then somewhere along the Mediterranean, he ended up perishing in the sea. Now his mother is somewhere crying. And then the same system will tell you your child was never supposed to even step foot in that boat. He has no reason to. This same government will wait until election year. They will start to venture into few infrastructural development to play with the mindset of the young Gambian. That they are doing us a favor. They, in fact, serving the needs of the Gambian people just to collect your vote, just to garner your vote. Basically, they are more interested in being in power
than serving
the people.
And it's like the people are also like jumping around these kind of people. I don't know what must be the case.
That is because they do not understand the concept of the social contract. The people did not understand that, in fact, we are the ones doing them a favor. And in this part of the world, like, it's important for advocacy is very important. I'm not doing it. Advocacy is very, very important. For me, it's not enough. Like, some of us that are fortunate enough to understand are supposed to take the fight to the enemy. It has to start from someone. And I want to be part of those people that will take the fight to the enemy. I took it as a responsibility. I took it as my patriotic duty to stand for the rights of my people, to defend the honor of the Republic. This was what inspired me to join politics.
Yes, it's like we must not sit back and allow this sovereignty of the Republic to be sunk, or to be sunk, if you wish. The point is, we have a duty, and our duty is to understand, first and foremost, who we are and what we must do for ourselves and for the country. Let's put it like this: that the social contract is like the people, and those the people have put in a position to carry out a function. Now, the people who have been entitled to or privileged enough to be made head of state or minister or director, or the quote-unquote constitutional mandate by the people, are now the very people telling us, in fact, by giving a borehole or electricity, I am doing a favor because so and so government was here, didn't do it. Because probably the community will start to argue that we have been here for 30 years, we have not seen any development. For 50 years, we have not seen any electricity. That does not guarantee you to jump up and down behind somebody, worshiping the person as if he is doing a favor. You see, sometimes the mindset of making these people who have been put in the dark, it's like they are being deliberately made ignorant.
Absolutely.
Just that these men can ride behind their backs to be in power and rid themselves. Now let's say you are in politics and you see all these things. You say, no, I cannot sit back and allow this thing to continue. Advocacy has to be continuing. People need to be educated. But the risk involved, are you considering it?
Well, my part, yes. Have I done enough? Well, I'm doing my little I can. Like I said, the system is designed in such a way that myself as a person that took it upon himself to fight against that system is automatically rendered the enemy. Now, if you listen to the presidency, when you talk about the president and his cabinet, when they are talking, they will make it sound like the opposition is the enemy.
It's like the opposition is the enemy of the people.
Exactly.
That's what
That's how they're trying to portray us. Exactly.
All right.
They will go after you. They will go after your family. They will go after everything you hold dear. And most importantly, they will go after the only thing that you care the most. That is your source of living.
That is your finance?
Yes.
All right. Make sure they take it out.
Being in the opposition means you don't have a job in the government. No, it's clear in the Public Order Act.
Yeah.
Being in the opposition means you don't deserve to have anything in this country. Being in the opposition puts you on the spotlight that people should distance themselves from you. Every youth need to understand this. Now the question we should be asking ourselves is, how long should this continue? How long should we continue to live on, in the mercy of that system? Because today, if we do not break the system, bring Sirif Jah as president, in no time the system will break him into pieces. He will subdue to the system. That is why we need to make sure the system is dismantled. We build a system that is responsive to the needs of the people. A system that understands or that stands on the will of the people. The people.
Somebody can argue, of course, these people came under the will of the people. The people are the one who put them in power.
Like I said, the system changed them into the people that they are today.
So it's like
a cycle, it's a wheel. If you don't break the wheel, it will continue.
Okay, that would take us, because I'm confused right now, because that would take us to the question which I was trying to delay. We'll make it break it now. To what is the system? What is this system we are talking about?
This system is such that a few individuals are controlling the narrative based on what they think is right.
Like we have few people.
Now let's put it this way. We are sitting on national TV. Let's say we're sitting on TV.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna directly accuse someone of something.
Right.
That would be very unfair to the individuals.
Right.
But I want you to understand, take it from me, that even this current government, whether we know it or not, there are very few individuals that are controlling the narrative that would dictate how this country should be governed, irrespective of who you are. It could be businessmen, it could be politicians, it could be doctors, it could be teachers, but I want you to understand that there are a group of people who controls the system. Now, when Jawara came, Sabelo cared about Jawara. Eventually, he has to fight for independence. He was fighting against the white man. When President Jammeh came, what did he say? He was fighting against elitism. When President Barrow came, what did he say? They were fighting against dictatorship. But tell me, Sirif, what has changed so far? What? Well, people would argue in these things that even Jammeh's government is way better than President Barrow's government.
So somebody would say, that we have freedom, now we have a breaking the chain.
That freedom was not given, it was taken. The people fought for it.
Okay, but they are saying...
But in the end, now let's look at this actual freedom that we are talking about. They said President Barrow is tolerant. National Assembly member for...
The most peaceful man.
Yeah, they said he's tolerant, he's a peaceful president, that's what they say. But we saw here the National Assembly member for Banjul, was it Banjul? Not Osao, this guy, Mulamin Ba.
Yeah.
It was in Banjul when the NPP had a meeting. In fact, it wasn't the meeting of the NPP. It was a meet the people tour with the president. He stood kind of like trying to project the problems that the people of Banjul are facing, and the government people by extension. What did he do? He ridiculed him. And he said to him, "Yo, Domawa, problem you make a big Banjul." That is arrogance of the highest order. Can you call that person tolerant? Absolutely no. Let's look at the OIC, for example. Every single government knew that the OIC, it was a project of former President Jammeh. Well, it was a project for the government people, but it started under his administration. He delegated a team that was responsible for the negotiation until eventually we were able to host the OIC. The same OIC, they delayed the system is bad. They delayed the infrastructure of the OIC for political gain. Now, what did they do? They built the roads. I forgot exactly how many kilometers of road the OIC project include, but maybe sometime if you have this conversation, I'll give you the exact. Then got dogat. Now, when they did a specific phase, that will allow them to host the OIC, they stopped the works. Now, election is approaching. They involved in so many infrastructural projects. These are not new projects. It is still the OIC project going on.
Really?
Yeah, of course. You can ask anyone.
So it's like they put it in the phase.
They put in the different phases. So they'll be able to play with our mindset
To say that
they actually bring in a certain degree of development.
okay, when it was all
under the OIC banner.
okay.
Now the OMVG project, it was a West African project.
All right.
Okay? I was having a conversation with somebody from Nawek, and the guy told me that in fact this project is initiated in is it Gino Conakry? From a specific dam also. He explained to me how it worked. But this project is supposed to have both Senegal, Gambia, and Guinea-Bissau. Somehow President Barrow wants to make people believe that he brought in this development for them. When whether he's in power or not, this project will still take place. It will still be hosted.
Okay. Whether he was in power or not, the OIC.
Exactly. So the system is designed in such a way that if they are slow doing the rec, that's them right. What they want will happen. And when it's election year, they will play with our mind. Kind of distract all of us into believing that they're actually doing us a favor.
Okay.
This is the system that we have. That is the same system that is focused on doing what they want to do, irrespective of the consequences. In the end, they will find a scapegoat, someone to blame, and then they'll continue with that direction, whatever they do.
Okay.
We're living in a very, very complex system that requires us, the youth, to stand up and break the chain. In the end, if we leave it like this, we're going to continue like this. We're going to continue living under their mercy.
Yes, being the spokesperson of NUP, what is your, as a party, your vision as far as changing the narrative is concerned? Because usually political parties, let's go far back to 2016. What was the promise? They removed dictatorship and self-perpetuating rule, and now give them a fresh start, new transition, change the status. What happened? We're seeing a new face playing the same old game. Is NUP not going to play the same gallery when they come to power?
Absolutely not. That is why we are advocating for system change under rule of law.